Alright guys, welcome. So I am Good Times MTB. Obviously Good Times stands for GT. If you don't know anything about GT, that's their motto, is Good Times while riding. I have been riding my GT sensor now since April and it's been great. So yeah, this is a 2017 GT sensor that I built up from the frame brand new. It is a carbon fiber frame and it is super lightweight. With just the frame itself was about 5 pounds. As it sits now completely built, I'd say it's about 30 pounds or so. So it isn't the lightest, but it isn't heavy also. The bike that I used to be on, which I can throw up a picture right here, was a 2007 Haro X7, and it was about 36 pounds, so it was a pretty heavy bike. So today, just to get the channel started and introduce myself, what I ride, so that you guys have an idea of what's to come, I'll be going over my GT sensor from handlebar to tire and drivetrain and everything else. So from front to back, we'll start here. So let's get started. So just getting started up front, first things first is tire setup. These are the Michelin Wild Enduro 27.5 by 2.4 tires. Super knobby tire, as you can see. This is the front, and I also have one on the rear, obviously. These are specific tires, so you have your front specific and your rear specific also. As you can see here, I'm running a Fox suspension fork. It is 140 millimeters. It is a 32 mil fork, so it's their Fox 32. Has climb, trail, descend switch on it, along with air valve, so it is an air shock, not a coil, which I used to be on, was a coil. So front hub is also a Hope Pro 4, which is also on the rear, but we'll get to it, with Hope Tech floating rotors as well. So that's for the tire setup. I'm also running the Spank mudguard here that come with the handlebars. So we'll go up there and talk about this. So I am a big guy. I am 6'2", so I prefer a pretty decent rise with a long bar. I'm currently running 785 millimeter bars. They are Spank Spoon 25s, which means that they have 25 mil rise. And the rise, I'm not sure if you can see here, is this here's how much rise it has. I'm not sure how much back sweep or forward sweep that it has. I could probably find out. I'm also running the God R brakes, which are 4-piston brakes, which we'll get to also. This is a pretty recent upgrade to me. I have maybe 6 miles on these. I also have the Trick Stuff pads that come with them that I bought them used, but the guy had thrown in some pads for me. So I have Trick Stuff pads in those, but for now, they've been phenomenal. So I'm only on the up and up about them. This is the Shimano M6000 10-speed shifter. Yes, I am running a 10-speed on this bike. Didn't want to run 11 or 12 because, again, on my old Haro, I had already just upgraded the drivetrain to a 10-speed because it was a 9. I wanted the range for climbing and stuff, and I had already dropped the money into it before this had come along just months prior. So I said, we'll just use it. And then maybe down the line, once it wears out or anything like that, stuff breaks, we can upgrade to an 11. I feel like nowadays with 11 speed, you get the range that a 12 has, cheaper and easier to find parts for. But that's just personal preference to me. On the stem, it is a 50 mil Spank Uzi stem in this blue color that matches the caps for the fork. Just a little bit of color combination because of this army green neon red. It's kind of hard to match with anything else. So I did go with the purple also on the hubs, which turns out that it works really, really well. So no complaints there with the colors. FSA headset bearings, lower and upper. This is a taper headset, so the bearings are different sizes. So if you are new to biking, just remember that if you're ever choosing a fork, some are tapered and some are straight. So that's the front cockpit. I'm also running the ODI Rogue grips. These are my all-time favorite grips. I haven't had any issues out of them. I recently just rotated them around just so I could get a little bit more wear out of them. I also have a new pair for Christmas that I'm going to be getting that are purple on the ends here, so that way they match the hubs a little bit more. Just a matchy, I guess. But yeah, that's it for the front, and we're going to go to the middle section and we'll talk about that. So yes, this is a full suspension bike. Right here is the rear suspension. This is a RockShox Monarch R. It is a 130 millimeter travel, or stroke travel, whatever you want to call it. So it's a 140, 130 bike, pretty trail oriented. It's not, the biggest enduro bike, but it has taken anything I can throw at it. the really modern, good geometry of this bike really helps in letting me take on everything I can throw at it. The head tube is kind of steep on it, being 68 degrees, but if you're not really concerned about numbers and just having fun like I am, it doesn't really matter. I've taken it to bike parks. I've just taken it off jumps. Anything I can take, it just handles it. So the RockShox Monarch R is compared with a PathLink system, which is here. GT has a huge video on it. I'll link it down below that you guys can check out on how it works. But it's definitely a pretty cool design, so it's not your traditional on your linkage here. As far as the suspension goes here, that's pretty much it. It's pretty basic shock with the rebound, and it works, and that's all I needed to do. So up top, as far as the saddle goes, this is a steel rail WTB Volt. Yeah, the Volt. I recently upgraded from a pure gel, which was a little thick around, when you're riding this, you want this to kind of fit under your legs pretty good, as weird as that sounds. But yeah, so I went with a different seat. This has been a really good upgrade, and I love it. This is a 150 mil X-Fusion Manic chopper, and it's been fantastic. I had one small issue. I got it for a really cheap price used when I built the bike up. The air shaft wouldn't let it stay up or down, and it was kind of hit or miss. Sometimes it would lock up, sometimes it wouldn't come up at all. So I got contact at X-Fusion over at Mad Suspension in California, and they were like, yeah, it sounds like you have this issue. They got me a new air shaft, which is pretty much 2 bolts, and then you pop it in, pop it out, grease it, and it's worked ever since. So for something as cheap as I got it, and how easy it is to service, if something were to ever go wrong, and with parts being available, it's been great. So dropper post is definitely a huge upgrade, something you definitely need. I would say you probably need on your bike. It makes riding a lot better, especially if you have a lot of features, creek crossings, techie stuff like that. You want to get this seat out of the way. So as far as the middle section here, that's pretty good. And then we'll move on to the Crankset back and talk about that. So yes, as you can see, I'm clearly losing daylight here. So like I said, we'll start with the Crankset here. So we'll get to that. So these are the Kona Wawa 2s composite pedals. I recently was on aluminum pedals, but just for the sheer fact of bouncing off of rocks when you rock strike, the composite was a really, really good idea. And that the bottom bracket height on this is already so low. I have a 170 crank. The 170 crank really makes up for so it's not sitting on the ground, so I really don't pedal strike all the time. So if I do, this composite really helps. But yeah, this for a size 13 shoe that I have, it's been a really good size platform. So if you're looking for something that's pretty affordable, I think these are about 60 for the composite ones, and the aluminum ones that they make of these are like 120, 110, something like that. But yeah, they've been great. These cranks are actually probably the bottom of the barrel thing on the bike. These are just IXF Chinese knockoff Holotech 2 cranks. They're basically, a knockoff Shimano. They used to be purple before I had gotten the purple Hope hubs. These were actually purple as well. I had them powder coated black just so I could keep it simple. Got a really good deal on the hubs and the wheel set, so I went on ahead and just left them black. But eventually we'll do some more purple or something later on. Standard Shimano Holotech 2 6873 bottom bracket, nothing special there. KMC 10-speed chain. As you can see, I have a Shimano Diori M6000 derailleur with clutch. Again, I'm running a 10-speed, but I'm running a pretty big ratio 10-speed. This is an 11 to 46, sorry, tooth cassette. I believe it is a ZTTO cassette. Yeah, and it's been flawless. It hasn't, the teeth aren't missing. It's handled some real big power inputs when you go to give it some crank. But I didn't have the hubs to back a good drivetrain, so that's why I went with the Hope Pro 4 hubs. And yeah, they've been fantastic. Yeah, I matched the M6000 shifter with the derailleur, and it's been a pretty good setup, other than the cable wanting to give out on me a couple times, but that's user error, I believe. This is, if you're wondering, this is just a old tube. I wanted to protect the carbon on the chainstay. This chain does bounce around some, so even with the clutch, I mean, it got to have some slack to reach this 46 tooth, so it does bounce around a little bit, and does help quiet it down a whole lot. yeah, I mean, as you can see here, I've got some clear bra on it to help protect. Clear bra on the top tube as well to help. All on the bottom is where the cables are routed, and it's also clear bra. But other than that, yeah, I have the rear, Michelin rear on the also, and it's been great. Tires are set up tubeless. I run 25 rear, 21 front, and it's been a pretty good balance. I'm actually wanting to go down on the rear just a little, just to gain a little bit more traction on the loose stuff. And on the front, I'm probably going to go about 20, but it's been pretty good so far. I run the Stands no tubes sealant, and it's been great. Actually had a puncture on the front, sealed it right up within no time, and I've been liking it. But no, other than that, I mean, it's been a really good bike. I'm impressed with it. For the how much I've put into it versus sold parts to upgrade has been, I mean, it's really pretty small amount compared to what's on the market now. So yeah, I've been enjoying it. I've recently got a GoPro, so I will be doing some POV footage, which hopefully, as long as the weather sticks out and time permits, tomorrow I will hopefully get some good riding in. I'd like to take you down one of my favorite downhill trails at my local state park, so I'll be sure to bring you guys along with me. And but yeah, other than that, if you have any questions about the bike that I didn't cover, I do know something that I didn't cover was the wheel set. So again, I am running the Hope Pro 4 hubs, but I'm also running the Hope Tech Enduro 27.5 wheel set. So the wheels are also Hope. So I've got Hope wheels, Hope hubs, Hope brakes. I just need more Hope stuff and I'll be good to go. But yeah, I'm gonna let you guys hear these hubs right quick because it's such a glorious sound. Engagement isn't as crazy as something like an i9 hub, but it's a lot better than stock, and for the price, I wasn't complaining at all. So, but yeah, guys, that's all I got for you. And again, any questions, drop them down below and we'll get them answered. See ya.